the Ember Magma League Split 2. This is the second season, and we've been off to a pretty solid start for both the teams that you're about to see today. Both the Triple T fan club and the Akuma Spikers, who we've seen once before actually play against the
Fire Rats.
Spire Rats earlier 2 weeks ago. But they missed out on their last game. Oh, sorry, yeah, but the Akuma Spikers missed out on their last game, unfortunately, since they couldn't field enough players. So they're coming out of a week behind and have only played 2 series this actual split as opposed to the 3 that everybody else has. Now, Triple T Fan Club has actually not dropped a single map this entire split. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about playing this next series, especially against a team that there isn't too much information about because they didn't have that extra chance to play that extra game.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these two teams are going to fare. You pointed out, Triple T literally yet to drop a map. These guys have been pretty damn dominant. We'll see if they can continue that through this evening's fixtures, or if Akuma Spikers can maybe come back a little bit from where they have been, because it hasn't been too pretty for them recently after an amazing week 1, taking down what seems to be a decent squad in Regicide Duskfall, going down 0-2 since then, and of course, you mentioned not having even the chance to play last week in that 0-2 defeat by forfeit to the Moonlight Spire. We'll see if they can come back from that, as we are headed in now to our 2v2 to work out who gets to pick what side. And it looks like we've got Kratcher and Lost and Echoes going to go in for the Triple Ts versus Akuma's Ado and Chief. Nivea Poppy versus Tryndamere Jace on the A-Ram map, playing in the realm of Ionia. Let's see who comes out on top in this one.
Now, it's important to mention, actually, this bot lane duo that TTT has is quite historically good at what they do in that bot lane, but this is not obviously a normal bot lane duo necessarily that they're going for here. It's a little different when you're on that ARAM map, simply because it's a straight line as opposed to a curve. A little less bush pressure that you can get. You've got the portals on the sides, just more straight line potential, more poke potential, and it is obviously very early game, so there are certain champions that just are not optimal. The engage comes out from the Poppy, Flash comes out, good pick onto that Tryndamere from the Anivia, Flash comes out from Chase, Exhaust comes through just to prevent that damage, pop the Anivia passive, Poppy's just going to zone that Jace off, maybe gets a little damage off, Exhaust comes through from that Jace, barely lives just using that gate.
Ratch going back though, looking for round 2 after taking that first death. Good done without it. Lost Knuckles finally has a little bit of mana to play with as well, but the Buckler's caught by Chief. A touch of extra shield makes it a little bit too much, perhaps. Want this blue side to go forward, unless Ada just decides to go flashing in.
Is that it? Is it first to 2?
I would assume so, with a random flash and a disconnect. Kratcher seems to have given up. That is a win for Akuma in the 2 versus 2. They'll happily take that, and they'll now have side select as well. The bonus of winning that little thing, something that's unique to Ember. I think it gives it a little bit of flair, a little bit of individuality. Get that side select locked in. As a result, the underdogs coming into the series get a small little advantage now as we head into game 1.
Doesn't really seem like that was a good testament of what we're going to be looking forward to seeing, though, considering, Poppy and Nivea, obviously not a very common bot lane that we would be accustomed to viewing, nor is Tryndamere Chase.
It's quite a nasty combo, though, Poppy and Nivea. Like,
oh, yeah,
the ability to set up a wall, stun into it, so much free CC off the back of it, extra stun you can get, and the damage, of course, on top, makes it a very powerful combo, and clearly worked out well there for Akuma Spikers, as Triple T now have to go back to the drawing board. If they thought they were coming in with side selection, they are unfortunately sadly mistaken, and we'll see if that maybe changes how they look at the draft as well, with maybe that second option not being quite what they would have wanted.
It was very interesting to see the Trendemir pick actually come out. He's very good in those early 1v1s, but in 2v2 situations, he's just very vulnerable to being kited, being CC'd, being that lockdown, and just absolutely demolished, like we saw in that very early stage when he ended up being the first one picked off. It
Yeah,
does look like
makes sense.
Akuma spikers are electing to take that second pick, though. And we will see that just in a short bit after we go to a short break, just to be able to get the delay for drafts before our game goes right in. Welcome back, everyone. We are back with Akuma Spikers versus Triple T Fan Club. Keep in mind that the Akuma Spikers did win that 2v2 at the beginning of our stream on ARAM. So we will be seeing them elect to go, I believe, second pick here, while Triple T Fan Club does go on red side.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Akuma have done the first pick thing, but if we're doing the whole switcheroony, which messes with my mind so much, first pick for Triple
First
T,
ban.
blue side for Akuma. Bans follow the same as picks, so that's not going to mess me up. But which side's picking first is a little bit of a confusion monitor, but we'll keep through it and we'll keep you all up to date, of course, as we carry on through. Lee Sin and Anivia first out the door. Lee Sin, a bit of a surprise to see. Not something you typically associate as being a high meta pick right now. Also, not something you associate with Akuma Spikers either. So interesting to see there. Maybe hinting at a Jarvan in the near future for Triple T. But Anivia on the other side has seen a little bit more play recently, maybe looking to play Death Brawl, and they don't want to be interrupted.
Yeah, it definitely is strange to see that Lee Sin banned for sure. The Anivia pick is a little bit more understandable. We're looking at Nightmare's mid lane here, and Nightmare is by far the best statistical player, speaking, in this entire league. So it makes sense that they want to remove some of those scarier picks that their mid laner might not be as comfortable with playing against. You just want to be able to play in a comfortable lane. You don't want to get picked off early. You want to just play safe and make sure the rest of your team is going well, and really just focus on this jungler if you're the Spikers, because otherwise their team will fall yet again to the, or not yet again for them, but another team will fall to the Triple T Fan Club.
Absolutely. I mean, something Triple T, I guess, want to keep on going is that streak that we mentioned a couple of times now. Yet to even drop a map throughout the whole of EML. We'll see if they continue that as we finally get into our first pick. Hui, chosen first out the gates. I guess when you can't pick your main champion for solo queue, you pick your second main champion, Nightmare. First most is Anivia. That got banned away, but Hui, plenty of experience, plenty of practice, and hopefully for him as well, plenty of damage to come through. Camille in response from Akuma, and I do wonder where that's headed, what with the whole MSI-ness of Camille right now.
Camille's a very strong champion wherever you want to take her. It doesn't really make a difference. Obviously, most likely we're going to see her in top lane.
I think that's a
It's
bot
not
lane.
typically played as.
I think
You
that's
think
a
it's going
support,
to be in support? That
especially
Camille's
with the
support?
Ziggs. I think
Interesting.
this is approaching the higher levels right now. So EML is 100 master LP cap, right? So these guys they play the game to a very reasonable level, and I think especially seeing what the Camille's at this level can do. Ziggs in particular, very nice pairing with Camille. Free CC off of the hookshot wall dive, and then the Hextech alternator pairs amazingly with the Mega Inferno bomb. I wouldn't be shocked
Fair
at all
enough.
here to see Kuma Spikers choosing to go with that sort of methodology. Triple T Fan Club going a very different direction, trying to avoid a lot of the mobility that these Akuma Spikers champions have. All three of them have a dash in their own way. Poppy, an amazing counter to stop precisely that, but the Rumble somewhat neutered by that Galio pick on 3.
Yeah, no, seeing what you're talking about here, I can definitely see that Poppy is support. Absolutely. Camille's definitely going into that support role. They have that Galio follow up with the Camille. They have the Ziggs bomb. They've got all this AoE. I would not be surprised to see something like even a J4 here, just to follow up to get even more value. Actually, J4, it's just. But the value out of these picks, Xin Zhao is banned. They purposely are avoiding these heavily AoE or heavily dual heavy characters, because you're either going to be fighting this as a giant death ball or in singular fights, simply because you have that Poppy, you have that Rumble, and you have the Hui. These are all typically, well, the exception of Poppy, large team fight champions.
Absolutely. Especially from the Akuma Spiker's part as well, right? The massive AoE damage you typically associate with wanting to get down and dirty. We'll see what they look to go with here on Forther. Of course, they have that counter pick, even though sides are what they are. Red side had first pick. It's confusing for me as well. Nocturne going to come through here. Similar ideas with the AoE, maybe a little bit less focused on the Wombo burst, but definitely still oriented around the team fight itself. The ability to get in, give the Galio a really nice target as well to go in on, restrict the vision of the enemy team as well. They can't find a TP flank. If they pop their TP after a Paranoia, they can't even if they wanted to. So it'd be very interesting to see how Akuma are able to manipulate vision as a result, and that Galio going to come flying in, as we mentioned before. Now on to Triple T to pick at least a bot laner. They're going to do precisely that. The Varus, which has been there or thereabouts, but in terms of solo queue win percentage, has dropped quite a bit off this recent set of changes. Interesting to see what they want to go with here. Poppy, technically flexible, right? We would expect it to go support here because of the Camille, but it could go jungle if they feel like that's a better avenue for them to follow. They don't fancy that as a matchup. Varus, Poppy into Camille Ziggs instead. They look
the Rel pick.
The Rel. I'm surprised.
That's
I think
a good
that Varus
counterpick.
Poppy. I mean, Varus Poppy could have been quite nice, but as you mentioned, Rel does a decent job as well against the Camille.
And not only is it good against Camille, it's also good against that Galio pick. It's so good against that heavy engage that they have, especially with those shields. Because keep in mind, Rel just goes right past those shields. She just destroys them completely. So when you have a character like Galio and Camille, it does just kind of fall apart if you do have that stun that the Rel can get through. However, with that being said, that does open quite a big opportunity for the Nocturne to be able to go into the backlines of the enemy Triple T backline, picking out that Varus or the Hui very easily.
I feel like we haven't even mentioned that final pick there, though. Fireflan's just locking a Darius? I was assuming the Galio was going to be taken as a counterpick to the Rumble. It seemed that way on 3. But now, matching into Hui, still a good matchup for the Galio. Let's not get that twisted. I feel like they're almost flipping the game in top now, though. Darius into Rumble. Such a volatile matchup for game 1. Triple T, if they can get things going through topside, Fireflan's on a Darius put behind might not have much of a chance at all.
This is more of a typical top lane matchup, though. If y'all are used to playing against that in the olden days, like this was a very typical matchup that you would see, Darius v Rumble. It's the runes that you really gotta watch here. We have that new Deathfire torch on to both Rumble and Hui, and our I'm blanking on the name of the rune. The new phase rush, how they changed it. What?
Stormfire Surge is on Darius and Poppy as well. Poke taking that there for his lane. Surprisingly, Fluke going with an Aftershock instead of matching. It's always interesting to see which they're going to choose, especially in that mid lane matchup. Do you want the extra resist, a little bit of extra poke, extra brawl damage with the Aftershock, or do you want to have maybe some more survivability? Proccing Storage Surge, not as easy as proccing Phase Rush once used to be, but still very, very effective, especially once the Galio gets to the point in the game where they can just start chunking people. But I have to say, I am most interested out of the whole map to be looking on the extremities. I want to see what's happening in top lane, I want to see what's happening bot lane as much as possible, because this bot lane matchup was looking so simple when the Poppy was there. You just steadfast presence, the Camille can't engage. Now there's a Rel, it becomes a lot more skill dependent. And then as we head back up to the top side, right now, obviously it's looking pretty good for the Darius, with Kamisama just trying to CS as many minions as possible with his electro-rocket harpoons. But later on, this matchup is going to be very volatile indeed. We have a trade on mid of all those things.
Looking at a couple easy engages early on at least, but once you get to level 3 here, as you can see, like there's just so much flash comes out from the Galio just to be able to escape. There's a lot of bursts that Hui gets as soon as he gets through levels. Engage comes out onto Chief, stun comes through, breaks the shield passive from the Camille. She is just able to hookshot out though.
A little bit greedy, trying to get some vision of the enemy jungler, as it looks like Poke and Itakanik have made their way down towards this bot side. Nice trading again. Just pure damage on to the Rel right now. Both junglers making their way down to bot, as we mentioned. Could have a fight over this crab. If that is the case, it feels like Poke doesn't have the bot lane prior, doesn't have Chief on his team either playing Camille. So it should just be a freebie for
Especially with that
Itaken.
hail of blades that Chief has. Oh,
Hello.
just popping over that wall with the hook shot, as one can do as Camille. Yeah, do note the way that was counteracted with the engage from that Galio by Nightmare. The fear does actually cancel out Galio's E, so it is quite a powerful counter engage tool that can be utilized, if not utilized for the damage that it could also provide. You can see
nice
just that
dodge.
Darius getting poked out very cleanly by Rumble. Very strong matchup for Rumble in this case. Little concerned to see that Darius pick, but we'll see what happens when he reaches level 6. That power spike from the Noxian Guillotine obviously making quite an impact. But we will see when we get there.
Yeah. So close multiple times there. That pull in particular is something the Rumble absolutely has to avoid. We're interested now to see a lane gank coming through here. Kratcher, not typically the one to be roaming as the Rel versus a Camille, but making their way towards top lane first. Unfortunately, not much to be found up here with the Rumble putting this much pressure on the Darius. Unless Fireflans really oversteps his mark, this is just a wasted roam time, and if anything, it's only going to cost Lost in Echoes out of all of it. As we head back down to mid as Fluke, once again, looking onto Nightmare. Nice chunk down to half HP. Definitely winning out that trade there as the Galio.
Yeah, you can see, based on the way that the Varus was playing here, they kind of knew that that Rel was in the top side, or at least Poppy was, for the very least, simply just because of the playstyle that was happening out. You see the TP comes out to that top lane from the Rumble. The advantage that you have when you're playing with the TP in top lane before that quest is complete, you still have a TP. Darius does have an exhaust, just to differentiate from that. Engage comes out from the Rel, exhaust popped. Chief does get does have to pop his flash in order to escape that. Ignite comes out onto Kratcher, not gonna be enough for the kill here. Oh! Level up comes out onto Kratcher, barely enough to get him enough HP, so that he's able to live through that Ziggs damage.
Yeah, so close. I think the level up came through.
Poke.
The level up came through just after he took the damage from the bouncing bomb. But my god, that got close for a second. That is a nice little steal away there from Itaken. Ticks up to level 6 as a result. When you get one camp steal and everything else, you then get to go in like this under the tower.
The full engage coming through, but there's just way too much going on for this red side. There's nothing that they can do about this full engage. They beat him to level 6. Galio does fall, but that is the only one on the side of Akuma who actually falls in this fight. The TTT is definitely coming out on top. If you're playing as TTT, you feel great about that engage. That was, or sorry, you feel let me take a deep breath there. I apologize. TTT is definitely feeling a lot worse after that one.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling. I'm sorry. I came into this thinking TTT was gonna be doing real hot, but I apologize. That engage, just the beat to level 6 from that from the Nocturne. He gets out the paranoia, gets out the damage, gets the engage. Galio follow up. Just way too much for a simple Rel and Varus to be able to live through. Poppy engage came out late, and it just was not able to stop that which was the Nocturne's fear.
And that really was everything. The ability to take up to level 6 off of that single camp, the Gromp, providing a lot more than it initially looked like. As Scratch is now in a little bit of danger on the bot side.
Big Bomb comes out from that Ziggs. It does look like he might fall here. Barely lives from that auto, but he's gonna fall to the bouncing palm. What a shame too, because that was a close one. Almost getting out of there with their life. Kratcher does end up falling, however.
I mean, that was so close to being able to escape there as the Rel, but can't quite manage it this time. Poke makes his way down to the bot side though. Instant. Yeah, this is just
It does look like this Camille's, yeah. Rumble all comes through. You can see the Darius is stacking up on this Noxian Guillotine. Exhaust comes through. There's no way that Rumble gets out. Rumble at his world rumbled.
Good.
As
Timing
the
there by
hand of
5
Noxus
Finds
takes
the all
yet
in.
another dunk.
Amisama just a little bit too aggressive there in that part of the lane phase. You got to be so careful every time. You talked about it, the Darius, it provides such a volatile matchup because you can guarantee at some point there will be a kill in the top lane. If the Darius gets the first kill, especially when Rumble doesn't have TP back, it is absolutely game-breaking. Look at the difference already occurring in top side, as the rest of the map is also not looking too great for Triple T. I mean, the whole map right now kind of falling apart, especially through bot lane as well. Ado did an amazing job just dominating in this matchup. 2 kills for himself, plus an assist as well. So we look back towards mid. The Drake still hasn't been taken. Approaching the 9-minute mark. It's been there for about 4. Surprised Akuma haven't really looked towards it, but I mean, if they just keep making plays that are this goal positive, they might never need to.
Honestly, I'm looking at this and just the Drake is going to come naturally at this point. It might be a little bit late, but oh, flash comes through from the Darius. Auto comes through. Passive is quite hefty. Remember that Hemorrhage grants quite a bit of AD on that Darius, but I mean, he doesn't need the kill at this point. Just the zone off of the XP in top lane is so important. There's so much that can be done as a Darius, just zoning off, keeping him off the XP, keeping him off that level up, keeping him off the minions. Just so much value you can get. You can see the CS difference in that top lane fight.
Barrier can be used down there in bot by Lost Echoes. Wants to make sure doesn't lose out too much before this potential Drake fight is going to be started up, since Itakunik has indeed begun that Infernal Drake. It'll drop down about 10-minute mark or so. So about a Drake behind the typical tempo in this one, but overall still very positive for Akuma. There you go for it.
This Paranoid comes through with the ultimate, possibly onto Hui, not able to get enough out of it. Fear comes through on the Galio. TP coming out on the side of, I think that's Rumble, yeah. He does end up getting that kill as well with the value of that TP. Quite impactful trade there. You can see the power of this mid lane player of Nightmare just naturally. I want to mention here real quick, with all of this roaming that is happening from Cratcher, they are only level 5, and it's definitely made an impact on all of these fights. There's just not enough pressure without the ultimate that Rel has. There's so much neglected. The ultimate comes out from Camille, and you can just see the value that just roaming support ultimates can give, really kind of making you feel bad as Cratcher, simply because you don't have that ultimate. You just get it now, but since you haven't had it on those other roams, Chief is kind of showing off about the fact, hey, I got my ultimate first.
And done a lot of good with it there, just in towards mid.
Oh, Varzo comes through, it's flashed by Chief.
Can't quite land it this time around. Chief will indeed burn that summoner to escape. Another run down towards the bot says, well, gank potential from Pope not really being found. Just get a one catch away of the Camille, and all this time in when sometimes has been a 3v2 lane, Akuma still putting the pressure on. Lost in Echo is forced into another cancelled base. Pope just now retreating himself, and there's so much time for Itakunik to do something else on the other side of the map. Past Paranoia, they could look for the dive here on top side.
It would not shock me, especially with Rumble being as low as it is. There it is. There's the Paranoia coming out onto the Rumble. Down comes Darius, not even using his guillotine, it looks like. But we can't see that. All we can see is Varus falling to Ziggs yet again. Another pick going to the side of the explosive expert.
This.
Chasing after...
Nightmare's in kind of an awkward position on the other side of the fight. Missing the Spiraling Despair is huge, though! Oh no!
And honestly, I'm baffled they got a pick out of that. Like, the pick on the Hui is like, Itakonek was very low during that entire attempted disengage. The fact that they went towards that river was a bold choice, to say the least. They could have gone just into the base, red side base, just to get executed. But they went for the route of river, trying to just disengage, trying to get out alive, and somehow Itakonek ends up getting that kill. Oh, out comes the
Huh.
wow, that's just,
So Camille Zig.
yeah.
We
Camille
mentioned this
Ziggs.
in draft. It does that. Turns out that Lost in Echoes is not allowed to stand anywhere outside of his turret range in a 2 versus 1. Cratcher may not be able to get back to his turret either.
Camille does
Flashing
so much damage.
after already being dead. If you're going to flash early, my guy. Can't be dying then. Ado now has a free reign over this bot tier 1. Isn't even using his satchel to blow it up. He's taking his time to finally destroy that first brick of the game. 14 minutes in, and Akuma are up nearly 7,000 gold. We're at 500 gold lead per minute right now. Akuma are absolutely stomping an unbeaten team. What is happening?
It just looks like, Triple T is just not finding the openings that they need. They got the early roams. Paranoia comes out onto the Poppy. She's just caught out. She's dead. There's nothing you can do about that one. Brelcult comes in, trying to get that pick onto the Camille, is able to get through. You get the Nocturne out of it as well with the Varus ultimate. Darius TP comes through. He's just pocketing off though. You'll see him flash here. Noxy Guillotine comes through. He still has that passive max stacks, getting the Rel out. That slow and that fear from the way, just not enough to stop him from dunking on the Rel again.
And
Darius
somehow the
resets
Darius has
so
TP
powerful.
advantage over a Rumble who has TP. Has it still, by the way, not even used during
Rumble
that
does
whole
not have TP
exchange.
here. Rumble used TP in the last fight. It's I think it's a
It
visual
says he
glitch
has
here.
it.
Because remember, they use it in mid.
That was a while ago. It's, all the other summoners seem to be tracking well. I'm just going to assume the Kami-sama didn't fancy matching TPs.
Well,
as
if you take a look at the TP on Darius, there's no cooldown on it.
That's top lane quest, though. That's slightly different.
Either way,
top lane
that's
quest
there's
TP
no
just
cooldown.
doesn't do the thing, but I don't know. I'm surprised. If Kami-sama didn't have TP and didn't, then sure, split push all you want. If they didn't even follow, Darius getting a double kill. I mean, that might even be a team tilter at that point. You can see a Rumble could have gone then, chooses not to, and still doesn't get anything on return, while the rest of your team gets absolutely demolished. This Darius is a monster.
Jeez. I mean, Darius by himself is just a monster. He might fall there. No, it's just not enough damage. Rumble only being one item is just... Note this Darius, he's got the lethality. He's got Yomus. So he's just running people down. That's all he's doing. He's got no sustain, really, besides his Q. Remember, getting that outside range does heal him quite a bit, depending on how many people he hits. That's all he's using, though.
That's
he
clearly
had
enough
that
right now.
Yeah.
Kami-sama just cannot respond.
He's
I mean, look
still
at how
just
greedy he
overstaying
is as
and
well.
top staying.
Is it
He
even an
can't.
overstay? It's a large stay. I don't even know if you can count this as an overstay, because he's able to get away with it. It's only an overstay
And
if you
there's
get
nobody
caught, and at the end of the
even
day,
close to stopping him.
they
They
can't
get
stop him.
it
They traded Drake for a top tier 2 at the 16-minute mark, and Akuma just keep on spiraling this gold lead out of control. Even get the steal
They're
on
gonna
the
get a free
Krugs.
Rift Herald out of this.
Absolutely, they can get whatever they want. If they want to go Rift Herald, absolutely. If they don't, if they want to go bases, then sure, take your time. You got mid tier 1 already down, bot tier 1 are down, top tier 2 already taken. It's 4 turrets to 0. As Triple T only have a couple of kills and that Drake to their name. Lost in Echoes just getting absolutely chunked right now by Ardo Ziggs, and Cratcher can't even make it far enough with a Hex Slash to close down the distance onto the Ziggs. Oh dear
I do
lord.
kind of want to note here that there comes the taunt out of the Galileo here, just trying to get that early engage. Not enough to be able to merit a full engage from his team. No, I wanted to mention that this this Rumble is not getting the value that they're looking for, most likely because of that Death for a Torch rune. It's not typically a rune that we see often on Rumble nowadays, especially into a Darius in that top lane matchup. So because it takes so long to come online, when you're fighting a Darius, Darius is a much earlier champion to play. Ziggs ult and Galio ult coming through onto this Rumble, and Rumble just seems to be trying to run away. Like, he's just stalling out his own death. I don't know why he's trying to waste his time, because there's just nothing you can do to get out of that one as Rumble.
I mean, there is something to be said for wasting 3 enemy team time. It's just your time. You're already dead in that position. Like, no reason to make it easy for them either. As Firefans on the bot side, I don't know if we can quite call this trouble, with Force of Nature now acquired, trying to take as little damage as possible, doing a very good job of precisely that. But it's forced away from the wave, at least, for a small little reprieve in the bot side. I mean, Akuma,
I mean, when you're down, when you've got an ADC who's, you know, he might be ahead, it's just not as relevant. Paranoia comes out so that they can't help this Poppy, but it's just going to be used to disengage from the Nocturne. Just trying to get out alive. Lost in Echoes does fall here to the Camille yet again. That pick potential that the Camille offers truly brings out the ultimatum for this enemy team. Camille getting a little greedy here, might get punished for it.
Or can do that.
No, the Rel does fall to that second Q. Q2 doing quite a bit of true damage. This is a level 9 Camille, so it's only going to be about 70%, I believe. No, it's 60% of the Q damage. Q2 damage is going to be true damage. But it's still enough to stop that Rel.
Oh, that's...
Giant engage from the Galio, able to get through. Quite a bit of damage comes through from the Ziggs onto this Varus, onto this team, but Galio does fall for it.
Yeah, they also use the second charge of the Rift Herald a little bit awkwardly there. Ado accidentally piloting it into the turret that it just bonked and killed. So a small misstep there with the Rift Herald, but they still get the mid-tier 2. They still claim even more gold in their favor, approaching a 10k gold lead at the 20-minute mark. That clearly is their win condition right now. Drakes have been about as far from their mind as it is possible to be in a game where you are this far ahead. They didn't even bother contesting second Drake. The Soul would be spawning around kind of the 30-minute mark at very early, like 32, 33. That's quite late for that as a win condition right now. It feels like Akuma much more focused on the top side objectives, and while mid lane might not be going perfectly for them, everywhere else couldn't be going much better.
I would be surprised to even see a Soul at this point on this game. We'll see the Soul be spawning, but to actually be obtained by a team simply because it is 1-1 here on the Drakes, it's just a lot of Drakes that have to spawn, a lot of time that's going to be needed to stall this game out at this point for TTT. By the time they're stalling this game out enough to be able to get the gold, to get the CS that they need, you can see this exhaust, this full fight that's going through with this Darius. You know, Dunk comes through, Flash comes out. That feels a little unnecessary. Definitely could have saved that for some other kind of fight, but when you're this far ahead, you really, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure they could have got the kill without it though, as we're now flashing away there. Has done a great flash over the wall. Poke going to get caught out as a result. That's the only way to guarantee it there on the top side for the Darius. We're just going to carry on this fight. I'm surprised the Triple Two even taking this. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
You can see quite a bit of CC coming through from the side of TTT, but it's just, it doesn't matter. Galio is able to just stomp through every single one of these. Most of the damage that this TTT fight team has is AP, so with the addition of the Galio on this team, there just isn't a lot of pressure that they can get. Varus is not exactly behind in terms of gold in general with the rest of his team, but then again, his entire team is down 11.2k gold, so doesn't really give you an accurate representation. Instead, you can take a look at the bottom and see that it's a 4k gold difference between Ado and Lost in Echoes. So it's quite a fair difference. It's an item and a half.
And that item and a half is definitely being felt right now. We have Lost in Echoes not quite at that edge of night spike that you'd like to see them at, compared to Ado, who's just picked up a death cap, very close to a void staff on top of it, but again, It's
They're getting
Triple
this
T
Drake
finding a
here.
timer for the Drake. Could just be a contest. I feel like I attack and they can get over the wall here.
They're not
Too late to
gonna
go for
be
it.
in time.
Just fight. Just take the fight.
They are. Rumble ult comes through, does a lot of AoE damage, but Rumble's behind. He's not doing that much. The burn just comes through from that Darius. He's getting dunk after dunk after dunk. You know, it's exactly as you expect. Varus is able to cut him out just a little bit, able to get quite a bit of damage off, but it's just going to be enough to get him out, and the Hui not much able to get other than that. Rumble is dead here, despite what our screen does say here. So keep that in mind.
Oh, too quickly for the overlay to even keep up. Just got absolutely eviscerated.
100%. He just had nothing there. I think he just bought most of the Bloodletter's Curse. Having that would have been quite useful in that last team fight, especially because it does have that AoE magic resist shred.
It would be nice, but I'm not sure it's enough right now. Because it feels like Akuma are just still too strong. Even that fight there, which wasn't a great one for Akuma to be starting, they just had to go for it because they have so much of a gold lead. Triple T have the advantage in terms of terrain. They're looking to run away, but when you have a 10k gold lead, any fight is a good fight, and even that was a 3 for 2. They're able to get yet more from it. Mid lane and Hib now just taken off. The top lane was already gone. We have to be looking towards this Baron soon, though. Otherwise, you're giving TTT a little bit too much time to scale into this game. Rumble scales very well. Hui, exceptionally. And Varus, even building lethality, has a decent time. This Baron has to be started soon. Looks like they're going to do precisely that.
And you can see that the Hui actually is getting quite far ahead. He just backed here, or got back to base, so he's not going to get here in time to this Baron fight. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything about this, even try to steal it. There's just no opening here, no ability. It doesn't even look like they even know it's currently just taken. Just now, Darius is the only one over there, but he's able to do so much. Galio's going to be able to ult directly into that fight. Taunt coming through. This does seem like just a little overcommit.
I think that's better to do that than to let Fireflans fall, though, because his shutdown, which we can't see, but his shutdown has to be pretty tasty, right? 8-0-1 on the team that's very far ahead. What the hell was that Mega Inferno bomb? Nightmare's down to half HP. But yeah, letting the Galio die instead of the Darius makes a lot of sense in that situation, though
he is
it did look a little bit
8-1,
peculiar.
yeah. He's doing incredibly this game. Like, if you're playing as this Darius here, you got to feel great about yourself. Like, Darius is a fun champion to play. I know I personally play Darius myself, so I know just how capable this player can be. They're trying to isolate this Camille here, just get the pick, but remember, she is the support. Not a lot of gold advantage getting the pick on the Camille, especially when you're wasting all of your resources. There was a Poppy ult there, there was a Rell ult there, there was an exhaust that was popped. A lot just utilized just to get a support.
Yeah.
And yes, it's the Camille, it's the lockdown that you get from the ultimatum, but it's still just not enough value that you're going to be getting here in terms of pure engaged potential. The Paranoia is still up here. You're waiting for that the heroic entrance from the Galio. You're waiting for your the big bomb from Ziggs.
Those are pretty big as well. That's just a cue that has to go golden instantly.
Bombs, Paranoia coming through into that enemy base might be a little far for them, but it doesn't look like they care. Taunt coming through, being able to back off too much. Fireflans is able to get 2 picks there with the help of Ziggs. You can see Fireflans getting the triumph, barely allowing him to live. Just at this point, they're just kind of DMing, just killing in base. Like, Nocturne falls here, a little unnecessary. Really did not need to die there, but this Nexus is gone with 12.7k gold advantage. You still had 30 seconds left on Baron. There was just nothing. That was a very, very heavily favored fight. A very heavily favored game by your Akuma team here, which is a surprise considering how well this Triple T team has looked the entire season. Like, this is the first map, and I admit we might have done a little bit of caster curse here, uh, jinxing them to lose their first map here. But even with that, they still lost quite a bit early on. They got the picks onto their bot lane, like picking off the Rel and the Varus, forcing Rel to roam early, not getting her ultimate until very late into the game. Just the XP differential on that Camille versus Rel, the backup just not coming through from TTT. You can see just pure damage. Ziggs is explosive in this team comp, able to get so much potential out of those AoE bombs being locked down by the Camille, by the Galio, by the Darius, by the Nocturne. It doesn't make a difference. His whole team is based around him, and if you can't kill Ziggs, your team will fall. Just look at the gold differential graph. Just
Yeah. When it keeps on climbing like that, it typically means that one team didn't have much of a chance. Unfortunately, that was Triple T inside of game one. We'll see if they're able to bounce back though, as we get ready to send it over to game number 2. We'll be back in just a few minutes when draft is ready. In a few.
Welcome back, everyone, to quite a surprising game one, or we're going into game two here. Akuma Spikers ended up upsetting the Triple T fan club quite overwhelmingly.
Emphatically. Yeah. It was not even close for a team that was quite literally unbeaten headed into the series. To have map one go the way it did was, I think, a surprise to everyone involved. But now we'll see if Akuma can carry that momentum forward, or if potentially Triple T fan club can try and pull this back just a touch, send us to that all important third map. The bans feel likely to remain quite similar to what we saw in game one, with the sides still being the same, but the first pick has changed, and that's confused me already. Triple T picking second this time, and Akuma on the blue side, as they should be on blue side, picking first.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not this Akuma Spikers team, whether they've been practicing at one specific comp, or if this is something that they're able to keep going, if they're able to keep this momentum and keep their victory as strong as they did in that last game. It likely won't be that definitive, but if it is, like, what are you going to do as Triple T fan club here? How are you supposed to you, respond to a lot of this? Wukong is a very strong staple pick that Nick has pulled out in the past. It's been very feast or famine. So I'm assuming that we're going to see a little bit of just a potentially pick based or just roam heavy team comp from Triple T, which is very common for them anyways. Ivern coming out most likely in that jungle position, but could be seen as a support as well.
That is a very left field pick for a first pick. No matter where it's
Yeah.
going, that is not common. Just slamming the Ivan after game one. I mean, the jungle matchup didn't go great, if we're honest. The Poppy didn't really get to do much at all into that Nocturne. It's a pretty common consequence of losing side lanes. You're trying to sweep up on both sides of the map. Mid lane starts to get a little bit out of hand. It definitely can do. And Poppy not fast enough to be able to get across back and forward as much as maybe was necessary. Ivan, a very different style as we get ready for game two here. Victor alongside is also an interesting decision. You typically want to see a little more on-hit capabilities when you have an Ivan on your side. Victor maybe not quite following that just yet. We'll see if that comes down the line instead, as Oriana Shen going to come through for Akuma. Very clear mid ideology here. Great ball delivery, shockwave combo is insane. But I do wonder where this Shen is headed.
I wouldn't be shocked to see him in top side with the Wukong and jungle. But, in this day and age, Shen can be played support very easily.
Yeah. It very, very much so can be. I honestly don't know where to expect it here. Well, you know what? Let's just go for the vibes at this point. Jack's taken on 3 by Triple T. I'm gonna have to assume that that's just gonna head towards the top lane. If it is into the Shen, that's a decent matchup for the Jax. You kind of mitigate what he wants to do with taunting by his ability to just not auto you. It turns out that's pretty damn good. Jax does struggle into things like Garen, so maybe that's where that idea has come from, not wanting to play against the Garen. But, I mean, there's only so many things you can protect it with. Renekton, another thing that can be quite difficult for the Jax, but if the Shen's not headed up to the top side and he's getting support, then you've just blinded your top lane on 3, and that's also quite an odd decision.
Typically, you see top lane as a counter pick, but after that last performance on the Rel, I can see why you would hold on to that support. Just because of how hard it was, the bot lane was counterpicked in that last fight. That last game, we had just so much range advantage from Ziggs. Varus doesn't have as many cooldowns as Fast, so there's just not as much he can do to kind of keep the pressure up, especially with that Rel. who's just getting knocked away
What
by
is
all the
going on here?
VCC. Trundle top, Jax jungle, Ivern and support.
There's no way you'd be blinding Trundle, right? That seems even
Or
weirder.
against Shen, for that matter.
I don't know where this is. I don't know what's going on here. Triple T, after game one was so, for lack of a better word, normal in terms of a comp from them. I mean, clearly they needed to change something because it didn't go great.
But this much?
But this is maybe a bit much. Now
Yasuo coming out from
both
Akuma's
C's just
spikers.
reveling in the degeneracy. Akuma,
What is going on here?
I
Did we
guess
miss
you
a
can see
memo?
Yasuo's flexible between bot and top. But I mean, they're obviously going to pick next anyway. They could be picking a support if they want to send the Shen up there. They could be picking a top laner. If it's going to be Shen, Yasuo bot lane.
Heck, Orianna could be support. Yasuo could be bot lane. Like, there's so many options here. But
Okay, Mundo into Jax is quite nasty. Jax doesn't have
Yes.
much of a chance. This is like Jax's worst matchup.
yeah. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see the Trundle ending up going in top lane potentially.
He doesn't have any resists. It's also quite good into Trundle, right? Trundle feeds off of the fact that you have resist for him to take away health.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite do as well into as this is an R5 of all time. Now, I know that guy's called Lost in
Echo.
Echoes. I know that he's an Echo main, but I feel like this is a stretch too far to go Ivan Echo as a bot lane.
Wait, who's the AD Victor? It has to be Victor, doesn't it?
I feel like Lost in Echoes plays the Echo, no?
I mean, that makes sense, but
Nightmare doesn't play much Echo at all, if any.
Okay, yeah, no, Last Hit Echoes does go Echo here. Thatcher does end up going in with the Ivern.
Echo Ivan? What the hell is going on? Ivan is a champion that synergizes with on-hit. You need to have things that can consistently play the on-hit. And you got, like, mages up the wazoo. What is going on here? Later game, sure, the Jax Ivan might have a chance.
Yeah.
But in the early to mid game, you'd expect Cratch to be playing a lot more, especially with his bot lane, but also alongside mid. I'm not sure I quite believe in this one. I mean, the proof will clearly be in the pudding, but this is some draft.
I've seen a lot of crazy things in my day. I've been playing this game for over 13 years. This feels like a solo queue game. I'm not gonna lie.
It absolutely does. As Five Lands has got Kamisama stuck in the back there for a second. Can't quite get an extra apart from just that briefcase landing to the face. I mean, what do we want to touch on first here, right? We got Jax into Mundo on the top side as we get an engage onto bot side. Just casual things happening. It's not really much of anything.
Shield?
You know what? Why not at this point? Top lane, good matchup for the Mundo, bad matchup for the Jax. We'll see if that comes through to fruition, though Kamisama has got an Ignite to try and maybe get a kill and change that dynamic just a touch. Jungle's a bit of a nothing burger. Both junglers going to try and resist where possible. Level 2 on spot, hold on.
Oh, the Shen engage comes through, but it looks like there's a gank that came out onto Luke.
That's a level 2 gank.
Manages to live though with the flash coming out. Red buff not enough to kill him out.
He just level 2 ganked. He cheesed, he started enemy red, went to enemy raptors, level 2 ganks mid, goes double flash for just the one fluke. Barely able to survive in mid. I'm surprised that Poke has gone for it, but I guess the cheese invade can work.
I apologize. Poke ended up getting blue buff, not red, that's why they lived. But this engage in bot lane, Echo is just falling lower and lower.
Wait, did he not start enemy red?
No, he started his own enemy. He started enemy blue.
That's where Itakanik was, though, no? As he gets first blood! Itakanik started his top side. That's his 12 CS right now. His 3 camps. Ardo's just going to get like an exit
Yeah, he's
here.
got blue buff. You're right. Absolutely. But like this
happening?
Engage comes onto Poke. There's 3 here, 2.5 if you count the Orianna showing up very late. TP is coming through, but for what? The fight's over.
He gets back to the lane, I guess. That counts for something. But Tarkinix effectively just got a triple kill at minute 3. Hasn't even looked towards a crab yet. Has barely even taken enemy Gromp. His own camps are in absolute disarray. But he's stealing enemy blue. He's got 3 kills randomly, and Akuma appear to be carrying on from where they left off in game 1. Fireflies on the top side has to be careful though.
Yeah, the Ignite did come through onto this Jax. From this Jax, he isn't able to get enough damage from the QW combo. Mundo, just a powerful champion, able to get the resistances, able to get that health regen. Very powerful.
Yeah, very close to getting another kill as we head to bot.
Another engage comes out from the Echo, but there's just not enough damage here from this Echo Ivern combo. The Echo does eventually kill the Yasuo, but Ivern does fall to the Shen. It does look like there was another skirmish going on in the jungle on the top side of this map. Victor and Trundle caught out this Wukong overextending and trying to get
that
red
was
buff.
quite greedy. So Akuma have just gone from having a 2k gold lead to parity in the course of a minute. Bot lane, things happen, right? You look for something that maybe isn't there.
I'm shook.
I don't even blame you. I'm a bit lost on this one too, but Tarkinec, after getting cheesed on, and yet still ending up with a triple kill, including enemy jungler, then goes for a re-invade on camps that aren't even there yet. The Raptors had not respawned because they were taken so late the first time round by Pope. Instead, just takes a fight.
There does appear to be a gank coming out on this Mundo. Just the ice pillar not able to get them on the right side of that wall.
I guess back to the previous point then, but I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to get that through. Tarkinec way overstaying, doesn't even take his base after getting triple kill, caught an enemy Raptor that weren't there. Pope gets the kill back, now kind of somewhat back in the game. Lost in Echoes, really off to a bit of a flyer after taking that first death. TP's back, now gets himself a double kill. And we just have to question what the hell is going on. Tarkinec's looking for a re-invade on enemy Gromp as we get Shockwave mid.
Shockwave comes out onto this Victor, and it's... I'm sorry, I can't tell you how low he is, because I don't know.
Very.
We're back into the buff side here.
he looked very low. I think that's how low he was.
Yeah.
It's a scientific measurement.
My apologies. The scientific word is very low, as I've just been informed. Top fight occurring right now, as well as bot lane right now. Root comes out onto the Shen. Echo able to follow up onto that dash. We can see the Echo trying to disengage here, trying to get out. Is only level 5. Doesn't have his R. You can see this Yasuo flashing in, does fall to the dirt, but Wukong does pick up the kill onto the Ivern. You can see up in top side, this Jax did fight Mundo, did pop it.
That's not meant to happen.
No, didn't have Ignite.
Didn't even use the Ignite. That's not meant to happen.
He didn't have it up. It just came back.
But the fact that he's able to kill the Mundo without it is ridiculous. That's also by the maximum dosage invested by Fireflans, taking a humongous flip of the top lane in a phase of the game where he's just not that strong. The anti-heal is the point of the Ignite, the reason why you take it into this matchup, try and get those kills. He can now look yet again, as we're maybe looking yet again at the Drake at the 6-minute mark, because Pokey has said, well, maybe it doesn't belong, maybe Chief said it doesn't belong, I don't even know anymore.
Shockwave is not there, so we're looking at the Victor here, incoming ultimate shot, but you can see just the outburst of damage coming out from that Victor ult is just enough to kill the Wukong. Not going to be able to stop him. There just wasn't any follow-up from that Akuma side. I'm just wondering what is going through comms here. What are people saying here?
Is anything?
What is causing people to...
Chief?
Chief?
Did he disconnect? He just stood still on the shutdown in mid. What is happening? Why?
Level 6 came out for the Yasuo. That's what happened.
But why is Nightmare there? Your team is taking the Drake. You don't need the mid push anymore. You guaranteed the Drake if you just stay alive. Don't give over a shutdown to this Yasuo that's put us so far behind. Look at his items. That man has Berserker Greaves and a longsword at minute 8. And suddenly he's now back in the game.
Ooh, Jaxal
is
coming through. So does the Mundo ult Ignite happening on top of it. It does counteract a lot of that healing potential from the Mundo ult, but his ultimate just does too much. It is just gonna keep him alive here. He is just regenerating that health back. Jax is trying to get some kind of scary hit, but meanwhile in mid lane, the engage comes out from the Wukong. Wukong doesn't have Cyclone here. We won't see it. It doesn't look like it's even needed.
Wow. And this is the danger of playing Victor like this, right? He used the flash as well by the looks of things in either the play around mid or just before that. But it leaves you so isolated, it leaves you so vulnerable. And Fluke takes great advantage of that with his jungler in tow. Itacanic now up to 5 kills already in this game. Triforce already acquired before that fight even happened. He was just looking for an excuse to have a scrap, and it works out perfectly. He's got his Orianna back into this game. Now he needs to focus on the side lanes.
Root comes through onto this Echo, for this Echo to be able to engage on. Remember, it's just that Ivern Root potential. Daisy kicking butt and knocking up, because every third hit, TP flank is coming through from this Mundo. No, from the Orianna here. Orianna comes through, has that shockwave potential, but does instantly get rooted by that Ivern. Engage comes through with the Trundle with that root, dashing directly to the enemy, and Fluke is just going to fall here. Root coming through yet again from that Ivern. Incredible play by this Cratcher. He is not missing a single root here. One after another after another. Somehow making this Echo work. And I think it's only because of this Yasuo. Simply because Yasuo is a melee champion.
Everything is just happening. I mean, if ever you needed proof of why flanking Orianna doesn't exist, that fight will kind of clue you in a little bit.
I mean, Orianna didn't have that much. She went into a fight with...
It's an Orianna! she never has much when she's flanking.
Yeah, good point.
Getting into another fight on top side. Kamisalma, you're in danger, mate.
The Cyclone comes out from the Wukong. Jack's ultimate not going to be enough to be able to give those resistances. Echo is just... He's just having fun in bot lane. You can tell he's having a good time. Like, CS is not that much of a difference in that bot lane fight. But in terms of CS, when it comes to the mid fight, you can see there's a substantial difference. Remember, Victor needs those CS, so it's rough for Victor right now. Having Glorious Evolution. You know, you're down 2k gold.
It's so odd. Like, everything that's happening is just, in some ways, inexplicable. Like the fact that Akuma have decided their bot lane should do their junglers Krugs instead of catching the bot wave. Looks like it's going to be held onto by Chief so that Ado can get back up there. He's trying to race towards that Blade of the Rune King Spike as fast as possible, though I'm not sure about this being the methodology. It's just a shockwave.
Orianna, Sun comes through with that E. R comes through, has the E evolve, but it's not going to be enough. There is going to be a Trundle follow-up, however. Shen ult has come through. It's not going to be enough to save the Orianna, though. And it is going to leave the Yasuo quite vulnerable in that bot lane. You can see on the minimap, Ivern is trying to get that pick onto Yasuo as a result of that. But incoming skirmish coming in on this Scuttlecrab, there's just not enough damage from Trundle without that ultimate. Wukong just has the better kit, more attack speed. Jax is coming with this fight, but he doesn't realize is that the Shen or the Mundo was also still there.
I mean, just things. I
could
not even begin to explain why that fight has been taken by Triple T. You looked at the gold before, you look at the gold now even. It looks reasonable, right? You got a small little advantage in bot lane. Mid lane's about even. Top lane's doing surprisingly well for the matchup that it is. So of course later on is where the Mundo's really going to come into his own. But if jungle doesn't take your breath away instantly, I don't know quite what will. A 2-item Wukong at the time the second Drake is spawning.
And still trying to fight the Trundle as well.
He has 2 items. No one in the game is even close. No one else is even close to that second item spike. If Wukong is there, that is not a fight that Triple T can take, and yet still they seem to try and take every single skirmish, and Itakenik is happy to oblige.
Echo getting the Q hit with the Q. Very nice play here, but Trundle is still trying to fight this Wukong, hoping for the assistance from his bot lane, but his bot lane is too busy fighting an
EP flank though.
Well, bot. Total flank coming through, but combo does come through. Shockwave pulls the Jax out of his jump, stopping that engage from happening, preventing the fall of potentially Akuma there. It does open up quite a good opportunity for them
Did he just
to
base?
engage into this fight. Jax based there because Mundo is still currently destroying the turret. Orianna getting
He's
the
not getting
pick
it back in
onto
time.
this
He's just
victor
getting
here
out the drain.
inevitably. No, Jax is just walking to top lane. He's got TP. I think. I'm not too sure. With our,
He used the CP to get down to that play in the first place.
it's tough to
He
see with
just
the overlay.
based.
Echo gets a nice stun onto 2 people there. 3 people. Ultimate comes through. Echo quite a bit of damage there. The shield not going to be enough for this Orianna. Or it is, actually. I lied. Shen ult came through, does fall for it, though, as a result. You can see Wukong picking up both kills on Ivern and Trundle out of that pick, out of that fight. Not a lot of value coming through after that Drake fight. Just a lot of value coming in from Akuma, though. Like, they're able to get quite a bit of value just in general from a lot of these skirmishes that are occurring.
Need I reiterate, the state that Itakenik is in had 2 items before that fight. One of them being Sundered Sky. Arguably the most broken item in the game. Nightmare's now overstaying it. I'm not allowed to talk.
Nightmare's getting picked off here yet again. It's just overcommit. Maybe the scoreboard that we had got to his head a little bit. Being seen as, you know, the best player, and
I'm so lost.
everybody's got off days. Everybody's got off days, guys. Keep that in mind.
If this isn't a humbler, though, after what has been an amazing split so far, 6 games of domination.
Oh, keep in mind, Orianna still has
like
Shockwave
7 and 8 have been a bit too much. Are they even able to make a play onto this on mid? It feels like no.
No, Ori is likely going to get this ultimate off at least onto 2. It also will follow it up. Just wait here, if they're even able to.
To go back to that Drake fight, though, unless Kami-sama decides to take an all-in which case that's on him, like, what was the idea with the TP? So you go with the TP play, the idea is to take the fight. The idea is we're going to sacrifice top lane to make a play for this Drake. To then base after the top lane turret's already dead, that is, you've already made the sacrifice. To then sacrifice the Drake on top makes no sense at all. The Mundo wasn't going to be able to push much to that tier 2 at any rate. To give him
comes through from Kama here. There does appear to, this is a skirmish that might happen. Trundle ulted onto this Mundo, is getting those stats, but you know, as you mentioned before, all he's getting is health. Cyclone comes through with the Shen ult on top of it. Clone comes out. You can see just the power of that Wukong, just powering through that Ivern.
He's too
Wukong
much.
is going to tower dive that with the Echo, easily able to get that pick up with the Triforce. With the Sundered Slam. It's an unstoppable auto attack for a reason.
That Wukong is bonking right now, and that's Lost in Echo's popping flash as well. An important summoner to be burning in a fight that you've already lost, in a death that you already assured by the fact that it was an empowered auto attack to finish you off. This is mid tier 2 going down at 17 minutes.
Well, I was getting more with the empowered auto attack that came out. Specifically, it's unstoppable, meaning that if you flash away from it, it does not stop.
Exactly. Like, very literal term. Unstoppable is going to shockwave onto bot.
You can't see that Wukong engaging quite again, and the bonk stick just bonking.
I thought he threw this game. I'll be honest. I thought after the lead he got, he threw it straight back, and Poke was going to be able to come and somewhat return.
It was close, but
because he gave away his kill lead effectively, right? By doing what he did after getting the triple kill, reinvading enemy Raptors when they weren't even there. It looked like this game was going to be tied back up, and we'd start afresh with a couple of champions just having a little bit more gold than they normally would. Instead, Itakunik has taken that early triple kill and run with it.
They're down 6k gold here.
Mhm.
We've gone from an even game like 10 minutes ago, even like 8 minutes ago. And
Hold
you
on,
can see
though.
they're trying to get something out of this. TTT is really getting the value, though. You can see Yasuo falling here to quite a few ultimates. Yeah, but they're not popping that much to get out of that, honestly. Mundo did pop ult there, did pop flash, but other than that, that was Jack's ult, that was
Is Lost and
Trundle ult,
Echoes
that
allowed to be
was-
here?
I don't think so.
No. No, the answer is no. I didn't see Fluke having quite that much damage in his burst, but I guess Orianna would be doing these things. That was kind of nasty. Third Drake of the game is now spawning on the bot side, which seems to have been somewhat neglected throughout the previous exchange of play, with Ardo and Fireflans getting caught out there on the top side. Still, though, not able to get anything on the cross-map art triple T's. They're at least able to get the
Gazo's
Rift
looking for the
Herald.
pick here. The Rift Herald is taken out, but it looks like Trundle... I don't think he picked it up.
He's got it now.
Okay, he picked it up.
Is he trying to make a play on the Mundo?
No, I think he was
Look
trying
at
to
his
back, but
items.
his back got stopped.
He didn't back. He just waited.
No, it got stopped. It got stopped, I think.
I don't even know. He was waiting there for a long time. Teammates around him.
Either
were
way,
able to
he's
sneak a
backing up
base.
to base.
Now he's dead. He's stuck
He's still
around there for
backing
so
back up to
long. His
base.
teammates were able to escape without a care in the world. He has Blade of the Roaring King on this base as well. Sticking around the map for so long with like 2k in inventory to then take Rift Herald not base instantly, using that 4-second recall, the empowered recall for taking the Rift Herald, is a little bit crazy to me. That's now top tier 2 guaranteed for Akuma. They may even look to try and take things further, but it looks like Kamisawa's not going to give them that fight just yet.
I'm still baffled about this whole thing.
The previous 20 minutes have been a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Actually, no, screw it. 25. The draft was odd too.
Good point. But they're still only up 6k gold. They might be up these turrets. Grubs have been pretty powerful in taking down those turrets. You have an Echo, you have a Victor, and I mean, even saying you have a Victor is a little much. How do you come back from this? Like, you're fighting against a Mundo who's got so much healing, so much sustain, has that Warmogs, has this Heart Steel. There's one Bork on your team. You've got Trundle. Trundle is going to be the only person who's actually going to be able to fight this Mundo, and he doesn't even have anti-heal yet. You have one person with anti-heal on your entire team who's that Jax. And it's only on Ignite. So it's only up every 180 seconds.
For a second, I was trying to find out where you said the anti-heal was. I was like, wait, where is it? He hasn't even bought the item. No one's bought an item for anti-heal.
No one's bought anti-heal. That's my point.
That is insane. At 20 minutes into a game, I know that they're behind, but
but you're playing against Yasuo, you're playing against Wukong, you're playing against a Mundo.
It allows a 20-minute Baron because you're just unable to contest. Again, objective bounties have spawned against Triple T. They might be able to contest this one, but as soon as Fireflans turns up, what is their plan for getting into this fight? What is their plan for taking this fight?
Double TB coming through here, Orianna and Jax from that bot lane. The root comes out from the Ivern, which is so strong, but so much damage from that Yasuo and Wukong Cyclone ult combo. The knockup coming through onto both the Echo and the Ivern, followed up by just killing, flat out, just autoing the Trundle. Just, you can't stop it. It was such a good engage from Itakunik to follow up with that Yasuo ultimate from Otto. It's not much you can do about it. He's coming back with, Otto now has Bork. He's got the shield bow. You're looking at IE almost, he's got to be fairly close to IE at this point.
You just took that base, so it's gonna be maybe 500 gold away, a couple of ways, push them out, maybe take a tier 3 turret. This feels like a decent time in the game to start breaking that base open with this Baron push, which are now being able to apparently go through the bot side here for Akuma. Triple T trying to shadow themselves down to the bot side, but that just means they're going to get caught.
Yeah, no, but it looks like they were trying to set up for some kind of fight to try to preemptively get this Orianna, but what they didn't have was vision. And unfortunately, that does mean that their entire, all three of them that were down
They
there.
trying to cross map the Mundo. I wish them luck.
I don't think that's what was going on. I think that they were honestly
He's taking
trying to set up
Fireflies is taking a 2v1. He just took a 2v1
can't.
and then flashed out of the base.
Yep, that's Mundo. Doesn't even look like he popped ult there. He didn't even have his ultimate yet. Because it's about to come up right now. So, didn't even need ult.
He's just doing the Mundo things, I guess.
Yep.
It takes the top
Yeah,
tier
he's
well
got ult
while we're
up
at
right
it.
now. There's 4 on him. It doesn't make a difference.
This is
3 on him, I
ridiculous.
apologize.
Okay, at least finally Nightmare has anti-heal, right? At least
Yes.
maybe that Nightmare is somewhat over, but at what cost? I mean, you're dropping Rift Herald at 24 minutes because it timed out 5 minutes after you took
Most
it.
likely, yeah.
I mean, you lose out on the Drake
Where are
round
you
by
taking the Rift
default.
Herald?
Poke apparently misclicks into it and is just forced to drive it around to the top side. He's playing go-karts
going
while
up
his team
top
is
side.
losing in the base.
Like, I don't
This
know
is
who
not the
gave
time
that
for a
guy a
go-kart.
driver's license, but
Okay, Chief.
Chief getting a nice engage
Oh,
here.
beautiful.
Oh, out comes the Yasuo ultimate. You can just see the power of that armor shred. Coming through Cyclone, able to get all that damage out. Jax able to get quite a bit of damage off into this Echo. Able to, or Yasuo, I apologize, able to pick him off. Wukong able to pick off the Jax as a response, though. Not able to get too much power out of that. It does look like they're overextending quite a bit. Wukong does fall the turret, but with minions being Baron empowered, it's not going to make
Feels like the end. It feels like the end of the series in somewhat underwhelming fashion. Triple T just unable to really get out the starting blocks in this
And
one.
they're just BMing
and
them.
Akuma,
Honestly,
I mean,
like,
Akuma are giving them a dog walk in right now. Poke is looking to try and get one kill on his way out the door. Going to get
Maybe?
sliced out onto Chief.
He does get one.
Fireflands. Hold on, have they thrown? They don't have the
It
end.
does look like they did. It does look like they did. Honestly, guys, like, this is why you end the game. This is exactly why you end the game. If you don't
no way.
lose
No
to
way the
Winions
minions.
here, if you don't lose to Winions here, you absolutely deserve this. No offense, but, like, come on, guys.
Okay. Well, it looks like,
This is a league match. People pay money to get into this league. So, like, you cannot show that much disrespect and expect to get away with it. Like, you're gonna feel that one in the morning. If this was like LCS or LEC or any professional
Get memed
league,
on.
you would get fined for that. Like, you can't go doing that, guys.
At the very least, a new meme would have been bought. But I guess in the cap leagues, it is a little bit different. In all honesty, Akuma should be able to recover quite easily from this.
Oh yeah,
Make
no,
their
definitely.
way through the base. Worst case scenario, walk forwards. If they fight you, good. Otherwise, take the mid inhib. Then they have to fight you because they have triple inhib down.
Just take a look at
there's
gold diff.
nothing. There's nothing
It's a 9K
really
gold diff.
bad. Absolutely right. You have the advantage still, but it doesn't look great when you're not ending the game as fast as possible. It's still a near impossibility for Triple T to come back, but giving them a chance is maybe more than you should give when they're this good.
Yeah, Mundo ult comes through. Keep in mind they do the anti-heal now. Lost and Echo just falling in the back lines while we've got Orianna ultimate coming through onto Ivor and Victor.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance.
Yeah. It did look like Yasuo kind of ulted in there and did die, but it doesn't look like they were taking another chance on possibly losing that Nexus again. 10.1k gold diff at the end of this game. The Ivern Echo being quite a shock to anybody, I'm sure, who was watching, especially considering how effective it was in the early game. I mean, it came as a shock to myself at the very least. I was not expecting the sheer power of the engage from the E Q combo, or I should say the Ivern Q E Echo auto attack onto either Yasuo or Shen. You throw out the Echo Q, you're able to get quite a bit of damage out. Just sheer power. W coming out with a stun, and unfortunately, it just wasn't enough because Wukong shows up, and that was kind of it. Like, you had your own stuff going on in that bot lane between the Orianna, the Yasuo, and the Shen, as well as Victor, Echo, and Ivern, and then all of a sudden you look topside and you're like, well, okay then. Like, this is that just happened.
That
The
just happened.
Wukong did just kind of popped off.
This was a team, lest we forget. If we haven't said it enough, I'm going to say it one more time for the road. A team that had been unbeaten, not just in series, but in games before tonight. Triple T 6-0 headed into this evening. And they come out the other side, tail tucked firmly between their legs because they just got absolutely stomped back-to-back games. The only thing they even had vaguely going for them was Drake's. And like that is such a clutching of straws. This game was at least a little bit closer than game one in terms of the fact that it wasn't just a straight line going up in that gold lead. But look at the gold lead still. It reached 12k. They didn't have a
kept fighting
chance.
that Wukong. Like, Wukong was so far ahead. All they had to do was just, leave him alone after he engages. Don't fight him. You have the slow from the Trundle. He's got two abilities that slow, and one ability that increases his movement speed. The least you could do is get the hell out, Trundle. Come on. You don't want to take those fights. But he did nonetheless. And I'm sure it did not help that that clone was just kept wonking away at him. I'm sure Trundle fell for the clone more than once, at the very least.
I'm a little bit in shock at how honestly easy it looked for Akuma, that series. Bear in mind, they were 1 and 2 as well. It was not like this is a clash right at the top, at least headed in.
Yeah.
Akuma,
I mean, give them some credit. They were 1-1 with an FF.
sure. But the thing is, the other team they lost to were a team that were also up near the top of the standings, right? The team they lost to, they got absolutely stomped by the Spire Rats. You'd expect that to maybe be something to point out, but instead, it's a complete reversal of that previous dynamic where they just make it look simple against the team that was, lest we forget, unbeaten. I'm going to keep keep beating that stick because this is not the result we expected coming into the night. I'm happy that we've had a little bit of an upset, and I'm sure Akuma Spikers be happy as well. But Triple T, they've got to be asking themselves a fair few questions after a series such as that, because you had everything going in your favor coming into tonight. You have your whole squad available. It's not that there's any subs to have some mitigation here. You just got stomped by a team that was 1-1, and now you had to kind of mentally recover from that.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one to come back from for sure. And we'll wrap this up here just to make sure everybody can enjoy this wonderful Wednesday evening. But just the power that the 1-1 team comes out. The last win that they involved a player that could not be fielded today from the Akuma side. They actually had a different top laner, I believe, than that one win that they had, and yet they're looking in such great form. I don't know who the coach was that scrapped this together, but they did very, very well on this. The team compositions were perfect. They had the powerhouse from the Wukong with the Yasuo cover up, with the Orianna follow up, and just sheer dominance all over the place. This was very well executed. The Trundle really getting kind of beaten down here. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Everybody has off days. Um, everybody has their own, it happens. We've all been there. Not the best day for the fan squad over here, but hopefully they'll come back. They'll be able to show up next week in their match that they have. But if they keep playing like they did tonight, who knows? It might come down to a big upset and a flip of the leaderboard if this keeps going.
It could very well, as that is where we're going to leave things for tonight, as previously mentioned. Triple T think they can come into a series, but Akuma clearly say otherwise. They absolutely dominate, and they send Triple T packing for this evening. Thank you all for joining us here on Ember. We will see you guys next time. For now, I've been thank you for joining us. With me has been Rebecca, and we'll see you guys next time.